Yesterday I was asked if I could make a video on how I got the Pokeys software. Not knowing exactly from where the question was coming from, I thought I would just cover the basics of what I did. I am brand new to using a Pokeys board. This one's a 57U. So please understand that I am not speaking from a role or a position of authority or a ton of use with this. I literally have 1 hour under my belt. So please take that into account. So what you're looking at here is 5 terminal blocks, and these terminal blocks are basically I/O ports, ground access, and voltage, among a few other things. Refer to the 57U manual and it'll explain to you what you can and cannot do with each of these individual ports. Also, when I first wired this, as you can see, the red wire is in terminal block 2, which is port 1, I/O port 1. I made the incorrect assumption that the first terminal block was I/O port 1. It is not. It is a 3.3 volt supply. And so I couldn't understand why it didn't work from the beginning, and that's where I made the mention in my post that I had double-checked my work and referred to the manual. So what you have here is you have the A channel and the B channel of the encoder wired to input port 1 and input port 2, which on the block is 2 and 3. And then over here we have the ground. Again, there's several different ground junctions that you can tie this to, but in this case, that is where ground is on that side of the board. So simple 3 wires. On the other side is the encoder. Not having any previous experience with encoders, again, I consulted the data sheet that came with this particular encoder. I bought off DigiKey. I think I paid $2 for it. And I really thought that there would be a pin diagram, but there's really not. So I had to look at how the nomenclature identified these pins. And so the left pin was identified as pin, I want to say pin A, and then the right one was pin B, and the center one was C. So it was like ACB. And I may have incorrectly attributed this, and people who have a lot more electronic experience than me can chime in, but it was like, for me, it was the A channel, the B channel, and in between it is the common that is used for the signal on both the drive sides. So that's how I wired it, and it ended up being correct. So didn't know how much needed to be covered, so I decided that I would cover this first, and then in just a minute I'll sync this video up with how I made this encoder work with the Pokeys software.